Do your conversations with your kids sound a little something like this? Did you finish your homework? Stop scrolling on your phone. Every time you open your mouth, you're either correcting them or worrying about them. And what's the result? Slam doors? Selective hearing? Or they just start hiding everything from you. You genuinely want to help them, but it feels like you're just pushing them further and further away. Here's a secret most parents don't realize. You are not a bad parent. You're just stuck in what I call correction mode, and it's accidentally destroying the very connection you're trying to build. The truth is, the most successful parents have already abandoned this exhausting approach. Instead, they've adopted 3 tiny habits that make their children see them as their best friend, not their supervisor. Today, I'm going to break down these 3 high EQ habits that will transform you from an overseer back into a guide, so your child will actually want to open up their heart to you. Habit number 1 is to shift from emergency response to everyday connection. This is the first mistake most of us make. We only have deep conversations when something goes wrong. Think about it. When do you sit down for a serious talk? When their grades drop? When they get in trouble? When you find something that worries you? We operate in emergency response mode. And guess what? Your child knows it. The moment you say, "We need to talk," their walls go straight up. They've learned that these conversations equal interrogation, lectures, or punishment. The top parents do something completely different. They establish what I call a low-pressure communication space long before any crisis ever hits. Instead of waiting for problems, they create everyday touchpoints. A 10-minute car ride where you're both looking at the road, not at each other, makes it less intense. Cooking dinner together where hands are busy, but hearts can open. A bedtime routine where the lights are dim and the day's defenses are down. Notice what these all have in common? They're regular, they're predictable, they're lost takes. I know one father who started a tradition every Friday on the way to basketball practice. No phones, no agenda. Just music and one simple question. What was the best and worst part of your week? At first, his teenage son gave one-word answers. But after 6 weeks, that son started volunteering information about friendship drama, school stress, and even asked for advice about a girl he liked. Here's the psychological principle at play. Trust is built in moments of calm, not in moments of crisis. When you establish regular, judgment-free connection points, your child learns that talking to you doesn't always lead to correction. Sometimes, it just leads to connection. So here's your action step. Choose one everyday activity this week. Maybe it's morning breakfast or washing dishes together. Commit to 10 minutes of pure curiosity. No corrections, no solutions, just connection. Ask questions like, what's something that made you laugh today? Next up, habit number 2. Shift from giving advice to being a mirror. Let's talk about what happens when your child actually does open up to you. Your 14-year-old comes home and says, "I think I failed my math test." Most of us immediately jump into fix-it mode. Did you study enough? I told you to start studying earlier. We mean well, but here's what your child hears. You messed up, and I need to rescue you because you can't handle this yourself. And just like that, they stop sharing. Top parents have mastered a different approach. They act as a mirror, not a megaphone. Instead of immediately giving advice, they reflect back what they're hearing, both the facts and the emotions underneath. So the child says, "I think I failed my test." The average parent responds, "Didn't you study?" But a top parent responds, "That sounds really stressful. You seem worried about it? See the difference?" The second response validates their experience before trying to solve anything. Here are some magic validation phrases that top parents use. Like, "That sounds really frustrating. I can see why that would upset you. Tell me more about that. That must have felt uncomfortable. It makes sense you'd feel that way." Notice what these phrases do not do. They don't judge, they don't minimize, they don't immediately problem solve. When you validate first, something incredible happens. Your child's nervous system calms down. They feel heard. And when they feel heard, they become open to guidance. Only after you've mirrored their emotions should you ask, "Would you like to hear some ideas? Or do you just need to vent right now?" This simple question gives your child control and shows respect for their autonomy. One mother told me she tried this when her daughter came home crying about friend drama. Instead of offering solutions, she just said, "That sounds really painful. Tell me more." Her daughter talked for 20 minutes straight, longer than she had in months. And at the end, she said, "Thanks, Mom. I feel so much better." She didn't need solutions. She just needed a mirror. So your action step. The next time your child shares something difficult, bite your tongue. Don't give advice for at least 2 minutes. Just reflect and validate. This brings us to our final habit, and it's a game changer. Habit number 3 is to shift from finding evidence to finding intent. Your child does something wrong. Maybe they lied about where they were. Maybe they got in trouble at school. Most of us go into full-on detective mode. We gather evidence. We build our case. Saw the text messages, "Don't lie to me, I already know the truth." We think we're teaching accountability, but here's what's actually happening. We're teaching our children that when they mess up, we become their prosecutor, not their ally. Top parents do something radically different. When their child makes a mistake, they ask about the motive first, and then discuss the consequence. They separate the behavior from the person's character. Instead of saying, "You're such a liar, I can't trust you anymore," try saying this: "You lied to me about where you were. That's not like you. What was going on?" See the difference? The first attacks their character. The second acknowledges the behavior, but preserves their identity as a good person who made a poor choice. Get curious about their intent. Instead of immediately punishing, ask, "Help me understand what was going through your mind. What were you hoping would happen?" This isn't about excusing the behavior. It's about understanding the human behind the behavior. Maybe your daughter lied because she felt you'd say no automatically. Maybe your son cheated because the pressure to succeed felt crushing. When you understand the intent, you can address the real issue, not just punish the symptom. Then you can problem solve together. I understand you felt trapped. Let's talk about what else you could have done. And yes, there will be a consequence, but I also want to make sure this doesn't happen again. How can we work together on that? One father I worked with discovered his son had been skipping classes. Instead of grounding him immediately, he asked, "What's making school so hard right now that skipping feels like the better option?" Turns out, his son was being bullied and felt ashamed to admit it. If that father had just punished the behavior, he would have missed the real crisis. The principle here is that people, including children, don't wake up thinking, "How can I ruin my life today?" There's always an intent, a need, a reason. When you seek to understand before you seek to correct, you position yourself as your child's problem-solving partner, not their enemy. Your action step. Next time your child messes up, take a breath. Before consequences, before lectures, ask, "Help me understand what you were thinking." So, let's bring this all together. These 3 habits, shifting from emergency response to everyday connection. From giving advice to being a mirror, from finding evidence to finding intent, will come down to 2 core principles: trust and respect. When you build connection in calm moments, your child learns to trust that you're safe. When you validate instead of immediately fixing, you show respect for their emotions. And when you seek to understand their intent, you demonstrate respect for their humanity. And here is what happens. Your child stops seeing you as the supervisor who only shows up to correct. They start seeing you as the guide who shows up to understand. That's when they stop hiding. That's when they start opening up. And if you are getting value so far, hit that subscribe and like button. Remember, you are not a bad parent. You just need a better roadmap, and you just got one. Now go connect with your kid. I will see you in the next video.